everybody, this is Jordan Manley again, and today I'm going to give you a quick stick tutorial just to show you how sticks are put together and how to choose the right drumstick for you and whatever you're doing on drums. Okay, so I guess first of all we'll just explain the parts of a drumstick. Okay, now even though this drumstick is one solid piece of wood, the way it's designed, there's usually 4 different regions that are going to be customized for performance. So we'll start up top. The bead of this drumstick can come in lots of different shapes. Okay, this drumstick in particular is it has more of a I guess you would call it a teardrop bead, but they also come in different shapes. Like there's teardrops, there's barrel tips, there's round tips. There are even sticks that have double butt ends, okay? And everyone has its own different characteristics as far as the amount of surface area that it's putting on the drum or the cymbal at one time, and also the the rebound, the rebound qualities of it. A lot of that is predicated on the shape of the bead. Now the second part of your drumstick is going to be the taper, which is basically the connecting point between the bead and the shaft of the stick. Okay, some drumsticks have a really quick taper. Some drumsticks have more of a gradual taper. And once again, these are all characteristics that are different for every player, and you might just have to experiment and see what works for you. Okay, now the main part of your drumstick is going to be the shaft. Okay. The shaft of your stick is going to come in different sizes as well. Some drumsticks are designed to be maybe a 1/4 inch longer and have a longer shaft to them, while others are going to be a little bit more squashed. Okay, and once again, it's all a matter of personal preference. Now the fourth and last part of your drumstick is going to be the butt. Okay, now the butt end of your stick doesn't really play a great role, but keep in mind this is going to be the heaviest part of your drumstick. Okay, so some people prefer the butt end of the stick to have a little extra weight on it, while other people like different styles. Okay, now what we're going to talk about next is the different sizes of drumsticks. All right, so let's get into that. Okay, so the sizes of drumsticks. Drumsticks come in different sizes, different measurements. Okay, so what I'm using here is a Vader 7A traditional. Okay, that number 7, okay, defines the size of your drumstick. Okay, so usually the most popular sizes of drumsticks are going to be 7, 5, and 2. All right, and it's opposite in the fact that the higher the number, the smaller the diameter of the stick is going to be. So your 2B or 2A drumsticks are going to be, something that'll be bigger and maybe a little easier to control for a beginner. Okay, a 2B drumstick is going to be about this big, and it's something that a beginner player might use, especially if you're just playing snare drum or you're in a marching band. A 2B or any type of like marching style drumstick like a SD1 is a good option. Now for the more advanced players or people that play the drum set, big thick log drumsticks are probably not the best option, because a heavier drumstick is going to put more damage on your drum heads and your cymbals. So you may consider something like a 5A or a 5B if you're playing like a heavy style of drum music, like rock and roll or something like that. Okay, and then what I prefer is a 7A, all right, which is a really thin drumstick. Most of the time you see people use 7As if they're playing like jazz, because it's a skinnier stick, so it's a lot harder for you to punish your drums and cymbals. It gives you a lot more potential for quieter dynamics. Okay. Now at the same time, because it's a thinner drumstick, it'll be a lot easier to break. Okay. So that's why if you're starting off on a drum set, a 5A or a 5B size drumstick is a good place to start. It's going to give you durability. but it's also going to give you a small enough diameter on your stick to really control it and move around the drum set freely. So remember, this drum industry, the drumstick industry, there are a lot of players in this game. There are lots of companies from Vader to Vic Firth to ProMark. Tons of companies, even like cymbal companies, make drumsticks. Okay, so I'm not going to direct you to any particular brand, but I just want you to understand the different sizes and how you can use that information to kind of shop for what works for you. Okay, drums by nature it's a very customizable instrument. Okay, so you want to use equipment, snares, cymbals, toms, and even drumsticks that are perfect for you. Okay, so you don't necessarily have to think you have to have what drummer X is doing or what drummer Y is using. You know, go out there and really go into these music stores and try out the gear that works for you. Find out what feels good to you, because you're the one that's got to be using it. Okay, so that concludes my drumstick tutorial. I hope I gave you some good information. Now go out there and find a pair of sticks that works for you, and yeah, do that. This is Jordan Manley signing out. You guys have a good week.